So, without further ado, we'll just jump into our first panel, which was Fairy Tail, Chapter 543, which is 2 away from the conclusion of Fairy Tail, which has been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, it seems like they're wrapping it up fairly quickly.
Trying to. This last arc has been just a hurdle of just get it out. Yeah. Please end this. Like, I almost feel like the writer, I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
Hiro
Mashimo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel like they're just trying to rush him.
It even feels like he's trying to get it over with. Just the way it's ending, it's just dumb. So, 543 starts off from the last chapter with Agnologia blowing up the ships that they were going to use to, like, as a plate to use Fairy Sphere, which is their grandiose idea to lock Agnologia in one place. He destroys it, but they find out he does it just off pure instinct. Mm-hmm. His instincts are driving him to destroy the things that he fears is ending himself, which is weird because he always brags about being, the strongest, nothing can defeat him, so you don't know why he would fear that, but...
I think that has to go with, because, like, I don't know if any of you guys that are watching really read Fairy Tail, but, like, every time you see, like, Natsu or one of the other main Dragon Slayers on the ships, they're always acting sick. They can't do anything. They're just like...
It's the natural weakness of Dragon Slayers is they're very motion sick. Every one of them. None of them are immune to this. But it's just like boats are like mobile vehicles, not flying. Because they can fly perfectly, which makes sense. They're Dragon Slayers. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to fly.
It's just a really weird thing that, like, his instincts kicked in and he got rid of them.
And he immediately got rid of them, knowing that they were going to try to use that to make him weak. Mm-hmm. But then it continues on with Gray and... I'm sorry, guys. I'm just so disconnected from this. I don't remember people's names. The white-haired guy, his training partner, I don't remember his name at all. But they're going to make ships out of their molding magic. Anyone with molding magic is going to make ships to replace the ones that were destroyed. Lucy, along with Happy, fly off to try to find the Book of Fairy Sphere because no one knows where it is. They know about all the other fairy magics. The Grand Master, who's supposed to have all the knowledge of Fairy Tail and its magics, doesn't know where Fairy Sphere is. He has an idea, but he doesn't know which. It
just sounds like, it feels like kind of a coincidence. It's like, oh, I know all these things. Where's that book that we need right now? I have no
where
idea
is one of the 3 great fairy magics in the entire world?
I've lost where I keep.
I know Fairy Glitter. I know Fairy Law, but I don't know Fairy Sphere. It's just not. It's just not. You could just tell something is not. Just stuff just popping out of the air. But then we continue on with the chapter with Natsu and all the other Dragon Slayers fighting as Agnologia, getting their butts kicked.
Mm-hmm. As they should, because Agnologia has been hyped up for the longest time as being the strongest being in their existence.
Yeah, remember the number 1 mage in all of their continent? God Serena? He got one-shotted after killing the other 4 great magicians of... It's just... It's ridiculous that he hasn't just one-shotted them like he did God Serena. Yeah. But, so they're doing that. They're fighting all their...
Great panels showing them that, like, they're just completely wiped. They're all bloody.
All of them are wiped. Natsu's the only one still somewhat standing. And he's still fighting with the power of... Say it with me, everybody. Friendship. Friendship. You can beat anything in the world in Fairy Tail as long as you have good friends. And then we continue on with all the other Dragon Slayers. As everything seems hoped, they start to give Natsu all of their strength. I don't know how you can just do that. Mm-hmm. It's like, I guess, a Dragon Ball type thing. I feel like that's where the inspiration for this came from. Yeah. Spirit bombs. But they give him his power, and he becomes the 7-flame dragon. Which makes no sense, because, one, none of the other Dragon Slayers have flame magic. Mm-hmm. I guess just he absorbed their type of magic and made it into his own. So he has the poison, lightning, air, iron... light and dark. So, plus his fire makes him the 7 Dragon Slayers.
I think one thing that this chapter, I don't know if I think you skipped it a little bit, but I just want to touch up on it real quick. Is that, like, it touched a little bit on Agnologia's past. Because it said, like, they destroyed, like, the dragons destroyed everything. They burned the city and killed the children of the city. And
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, he's just going upon that. Like, that's why he can't understand why Natsu's like, oh, the kindness of dragons and this, the dragons have loved me. It's like... It
does make sense, because they have talked about in the past that some dragons are very friendly, but other dragons wanted to enslave, kill humans, which I get that too, but it's just, I feel like they did that for his motivation, but then his motivation is, I just want to destroy everything. Humans, dragons, just the world itself, which
Yeah, which it's kind of like if you think about it psychologically, it's kind
stupid.
of like
it's like you live on this world. What are you gonna do when it ends? When everything is gone? What do you destroy when you've destroyed everything?
The universe.
Don't pull a Dragon Ball Z. Just get out of here. But yeah, I'm glad you touched upon it. I completely skipped past it. Like I said, if you can't tell, we are tired of Fairy Tail. I'm excited that it's gonna end soon. 2 more chapters. Hopefully they don't just.
I mean, I'd like this. Like one thing I'd like to see, honestly, is like I'd like it if they continued a little bit, like on some other characters not named Natsu or Lucy or Gray or any of them.
Yeah.
Like they continued like in the world, because like the world is still a very interesting place.
It is
that they live in, and like there's a lot of things that they can touch upon. I'm sure there's a lot more continents in the world that like they can go to and develop, but. I just think storytelling wise, like they have to do a much better job than they did at Fairy Tail. Yeah, it's just. It
was like after like the 3rd season of Fairy Tail, I'll go off that, like the 3rd main arc. I think that was the island, if I'm mistaken, but I'm gonna just go back to the island when I just started thinking like, there's no reason to watch this show or read it like intensely because you always know they're gonna win from some just BS Deus Ex Machina type situation, and it's just tired watching it. It's just like. You see that a lot nowadays, and it's just like, where do these people learn to write stories? Like, if you ever want to write a story, never ever think, hey, I could just use a Deus Ex Machina, because that will kill your story.
Yeah, you get a lot of just like, I think you see like he just writes himself into corners where he has to get the characters out, and he does so in like a very like.
He writes these super strong characters that he kind of has to, because every arc he makes his main character stronger and stronger. So he's just like, okay, I gotta give them another like challenge, so let me give them this, and this, which is just like I feel like Dragon Ball is the perfect example of how not what to do, because he fights regular people with his own like just pure strength, and he doesn't have to get like a whole lot more stronger. So that way he doesn't have to keep churning out all these super powerful. Yeah. At least after the Cell arc, it just kind of got worse and worse. But
power levels kind of just left.
Power levels just kind of. That's also when the whole Gohan situation hit. But we're not going to talk about Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is not part of our discussion. Yeah. I'm not super.
It's a good reference point whenever you see some stuff, because like it's pretty much a touch base of most of all modern manga. So, we
continue with the story. Agnologia, they finish making the ships out of the magic. Agnologia sees the ships, and so he goes after them out of his instincts once more. But this time, Erza, Juvia, all the other mages start to fight back, like launching all of their strongest attack. You see Erza's like heavenly sword technique, Juvia's using her water.
Like everything, which is, I think, one thing that I'm going to have to give Hero on this is like it's wonderfully drawn. It looks really good.
Yeah, I will never. You can say what you want about his storytelling. This man can draw some cool ass shit. Like
it looks like art. The art is.
It is beautiful, even though he is kind of a pervert. He can draw some super nice tits. It's amazing. But we're not going to talk about that. Okay, so we continue on the attack. The ships are starting to get washed away, and we then go to Lucy in a circle of trust, love, and hand-holding, starting to combine all the mage's powers to make Fairy Sphere. And, sorry, I have to go into this. So she gets all of them together, their magic's starting to get poured into one, and she activates Fairy Sphere, which, obviously... Oh wait, how's that? Okay, I see.
There's this like the chapter ends with her activating, linking everyone, and then it goes to Natsu like gearing up and readying like a final attack on Agnologia. So
with his final words, "I feel ya." So he feels the magic, I guess.
Feels of friendship.
Powers of friendship. All right, so that's Fairy Tail. What were your thoughts on this chapter, Ben?
I mean, it was just a good setup chapter for what's gonna happen. Because I mean, I'm gonna make a prediction that Natsu's gonna one-shot Agnologia.
We know he's gonna win. There's one more chapter. He has to defeat him by this. I don't think the last chapter is gonna be them defeating.
It's kind of like a resolution for the entire series. But like, just looking at it, like you see that Agnologia has been.
He hasn't even been hurt. Yeah, think about this, people. If you read this, he hasn't been hurt this entire fight. They haven't been able to land a hit on this man.
Like you see, he's gone through this like the Spriggan 12. He one-shot Serena. The other ones are just like, let this dude go. He's obviously way too strong for us. And then he's like, he's made it to this point clean. Like no one's touched him.
He has not taken a single bit of damage this entire story. The biggest thing that's happened to him is when Erza's mother used the universal magic to displace him.
Yeah, she didn't even touch him.
That's all she could do. Like during their fight, you thought maybe she's going to do some major magic damage to him, like Natsu's father.
Igneo, like he took an arm. Like that's pretty bold.
Yeah, he did the most damage to Agnoloy we've ever seen in the entire story, and he took a physical arm of his.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's Fairy Tail chapter 543. It is what it is.
Fairy
people.
Tail.
Yeah, it's Fairy Tail. All right, so then we go in.